Hi, my name is Bryce Galen. I had ball hockey in Northeastern America. My table of contents, so number 1, why do they build it? Number 2, how do you make money from this? So from your investment of building it. Number 3, how does the game played? What are the rules and what are the equipment for it? Number 4, going pro. So what does the future look like, either international or just club? And history, so how ball hockey came to be. Number 1, why do they build? So local rinks, build in parks. Penguins do it a lot. They build in memorial parks. They build really wherever they want. They have these certain rinks that they just plop down in the middle of nowhere, and people come. They start leagues. People just go down there to play by themselves. And yeah, again, why they build these Pittsburgh Penguins? These cities, they come from all over, even up in Erie. They have decks. It helps support the community in some way, either by making money, by bringing these kids some hope and joy. In the greater Pittsburgh area, Brookline, where I started, and McHughsport, who was recently named after the cop that died last Valentine's or around last Valentine's. They're two local rinks that I've personally both played at when I was younger. McHughsport is a little newer, but yeah. Then 2, making money. How do these organizations make money on their investment? Famous quote here. So if you build it, they will come. Famously from Benchwarmers, obviously. So every true idea between a sports complex is all you have to do is build it, right? So you build it, you invest your money, and then you make it back through organized leagues, people renting it out, people hosting events there, and then also tournaments. So when you have tournaments, teams come from out of state, sometimes out of country, and out of surrounding neighborhoods, and they help these restaurants in there. They help, honestly, the park, and it's grow as what it is. The player counts. So North American player count, mostly from the United States and Canada. It was always around. I mean, people always played street hockey per se, but it didn't get organized until the 1980s, really. But then it started going up on the rise. European was always slow getting into ball hockey because it was obviously they follow the trends of America. So recently they actually passed the player base in America just because how greatly they appreciate it over there. The quote here a little gives you a lot. So these decks don't cost these organizations too much to build in parks, especially because it's city funded. Sometimes they bring in a lot of money themselves, such as Pittsburgh Penguins. And they bring in so much money on these decks, it's unheard of. People make sometimes millions on some of these decks just from a couple tournaments a year on them. The organized leagues that are running them in-house, such as, Brookline does that too. Then 3, rules and equipment. What do you need to play if you wanted to play? So equipment, obviously helmets are mandatory for players. You don't need to wear, past 18, you don't need to wear a cage or anything like that. So you can just wear a straight, I'll say bicycle helmet if you wanted to. No one really judge you. I mean, they would judge you, but so you can wear any helmet you want, usually CCM or Warrior. Then for hand gloves or just gloves, you can wear from lacrosse gloves to ice hockey gloves. No one really cares. There is manufactured gloves sold to ball hockey players specifically. I've gotten some for free just for playing. Shin guards, same thing with lacrosse and ice hockey. Then they also manufactured to ball hockey players. Teams, honestly, in-house, anything you can play. They have t-shirts with numbers on them. Doesn't matter if it's a white t-shirt, you just put a number on the back, you can play. Then appropriate footwear for running. So even though it says appropriate footwear, I would recommend some sort of harder shoe. Not obviously that you're not running in a boot, but also nothing I don't know how would it say, nothing that could be ripped apart easily if you're running on concrete or something like that, because it just rips apart anymore. Rules. So offside is determined by a floating blue line. So what that means is once you cross over the blue line, you have the whole side of the rink. So you have the red line over. I'll explain it to anyone who actually wants to care about it. Like ice hockey also, you can close your hand on the puck or ball and bring it straight down. You cannot throw it. I know a lot of people do that in gym class, but yeah, you just can't do that. North American ice hockey rinks are 200 feet by 85 feet. It's the same as an ice hockey rink. You're not gliding on it like you would in ice. You're actually running and walking it. So I guess it's a little bit harder for some people, but it's normal. So going pro, what the future looks like. One thing is there's only like a couple countries that left need to sign for it to become an Olympic sport. So it's going to be like a poverty Olympic sport, like how flag football is per se. Flag football to regular football, like it's less equipment, less money to play, really. Almost the same thing with ball hockey and roller. It's less money equivalent to the actual sport. So USA ball hockey and international play. So most recently, the men's tournament was in Montreal. Later this year, I don't know the exact date, I think it's in June, they play at Vis, Switzerland, which is a while away. I've recently played in Czech, Prague, for my junior championships. Then most recently, I think it was, following year was Buffalo for Masters, which is over 35. Now, upcoming events in America, I know most of you don't really care, but so in February was Super Bowl bye week. We just had a tournament up in Edison, New Jersey, which is right next to New York, basically. I don't know why they call it New Jersey at this point. Then in March, I won't be attending, but the Pottstown North Americans. Then we'll have one in May at RMU. Club Championships, it's a tournament that really everybody comes to, even Canadian teams. Then in October, Fitchburg, Massachusetts Outdoor Classic is another big tournament around here. A lot of people go to it, but yeah. Then lastly, history. How ball hockey came to be. So in 1572, natives were first observed playing the variant of the game, in which I'm guessing it probably was before that, because all you need is a stick and a ball. Just like how baseball, you need a bat and a ball and a glove maybe to play it. If you really didn't want to buy all the other like protection equipment, it was a very cheap game. 1960s, Canada, obviously, Canadian hockey is insane. They were the first to come up with it, followed by the United States, and then Europe even took off. Current player base is over 300,000. So I know that's not a lot for a sport, but it's enough to the point where all these countries come together and they play something they can't play with no ice rinks or facilities. All they need is 2 nets, a ball, and a stick. Really, they could play. For organized play, though, they do need equipment that is mandatory. But thank you. I hope I taught you guys something new.